What's up, everybody? It's your boy Deadpool 245-277. Welcome to the final episode of Destiny 2 with the final update. I actually had a hard time trying to start this video with Destiny 2. I was wondering if I should could just continue doing my regular programming or just shout out to this game. It was hard. For the past 2 weeks, I was just trying to figure that out, you know. Well, let's just get right to a point. I want to say thank you for some of the Bungie community, for giving me great and worst memories ever. You know, no matter what the criticism may be, I had a great memories of this game. I have a great memory of this game, the worst memory of this game. But overall, me and all my buddies kept getting on and start playing it. We just kept on start playing it. And then when I heard that on the 9th of June, which was already passed, that it was going to be the final update. When I heard about that, I was sad. I was sad. I was angry. I didn't know what to do. And me and Dylan were talking about it. I just didn't know what to do. All I can really think about is like, okay, we'll just get on it and just start playing it. So everything's kind of back. Everything's kind of like all situated. You know, don't worry, I'm back from my back and everything. So I am back, you know. And plus, I was with Evie watching all the Summer Game Fest, the Sony press conference, and then the Xbox, and then the Nintendo Direct. I was there watching with Evie. I was there. If y'all were wondering, yes, I was there. I was there, but at the same time, I was just in and out, you know. So, but yeah, I was 100% there with Evie. So we saw a bunch of games that are coming out. There's so many games. But let's get back into Destiny real quick before I continue with what I got planned for this year and upcoming next year. Sparrow Racing is back. Me and Dylan have been playing the heck out of this game, and of course, as you see, got the armor. And I got the ornament, and then you can get the armor, but yeah, I got it. And now we're just chilling. Pantheon is up. There's only 2 bosses, I believe, Argos and the Fate Callus. This game was like a love and hate relationship, where I love this game for the passion, but I hate it again because of the way they change stuff and the way they, you know, puts a negative impact into the game, if that makes any sense. So it's like a really love-hate relationship. I just thank you. You know, just thank you, Bungie, for the good memories of this game. You know, the horrible memories too. But at the same time, what can we do? You know, the game's a game. I was hoping that I can continue on with this. I was hoping to do more of this game, but even I knew it was already over. The Edge of Fate DLC didn't go out the way that they wanted to, and I felt that too because after when we beat the Witness, not last year but the year before. When we did the Final Shape DLC, got everybody all in it. Everybody was all set to go. We were all ready for it. And then after that, Dylan left. Evie left. Oscar, Sam, and I were still kind of just there. But after that, it was already over because there was already like, okay, we're already done. What's left there left to do? Abby came in and out every now and then just to kind of play, but she was officially done. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. You know, you know, leaving. So I don't blame her at all. She did make a point where the reason why she stopped doing raids because of the token system, and she feared that if she messed up one thing, it could cause a whole mayhem because she will end up forgetting something or messing up something that she doesn't want to regret. Yeah. So it just sucks. It just sucks that it's ending. That it is ended. That is already ended. There was supposed to be more stuff. There is a cliffhanger. I haven't got to that part yet. So it's done. It's completely done. Dylan did make a point where what they should have done is like I think the final stage that year during October or the Game Awards or some stuff like that. What they should have done is release a trailer for Destiny 3. And what they should have done when Edge of Fate was announced, or however they did it, they should release Edge of Fate on Destiny 3. A whole new mechanic, whole new this, whole new that. They should release it on Destiny 3. And that makes and I thought about it. I actually thought about it. It's like, you know what, that made a lot of sense because when the Edge of Fate came out, we had to start from over 2,000 light level to all the way down to like 10. So it made a lot of sense because they should have made it where, okay, they just make it to Destiny 3 and just kind of start over. With a whole new mechanic, whole new stuff, whole new blah, blah, blah. Like you already know. And then just, rebuild it from the ground up from there all the way to it. But you remember, this Destiny 2 came out on PS4. 3 years before PS5 was even announced. So let that run that back, okay? So that they're using the old mechanic that they kept on updating every single time. They taking that old mechanic, they just kept on updating over and over and over again. So which is fair, right? It's cool, right? So that was the whole point. But when they announced PS5, well, okay, cool, Destiny 3 will be on PS5 with a brand new mechanic, brand new this, brand new that. Cool. That's cool. And then when PS6 came out, they'll just use that mechanic till so on and so forth. That would have been better. So shout out to my boy Dylan for thinking of that. That was a good idea. But sadly that didn't happen because they didn't want to do it, and they sat there and waste all that money just on Marathon. And on the 9th of June, they just proved it all right there. Destiny 2 was skyrocketing. It made numbers. That just proved that everyone loved this game, no matter how good it is, how bad it is, how whatever. People still love this game because it was like, come on, everyone made a lot of friends. Everyone made a lot of friends, and people made a lot of money just by playing this game. I didn't, and I'm okay with it. I got other games to play besides this game. I was already burnt out. I just had this game because I couldn't bring myself to delete it during that dark time. I just couldn't bring myself to delete it, so I just kept it. And I just kept on showing everybody, hey, this is what's going on right now. I just kept on going. And should I delete? Yeah, I could have, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So, and then now almost everybody's coming back, except Evie. Evie still just didn't want to do it, and that's fair. That's fair. She doesn't have to play this game. She doesn't want to play this game, and I give her that. Why I don't mind her not playing this game. I don't want her to even play this game. She got other games to play that's way more fun. She can play Yakuza games, and that made her fun. She can play Final Fantasy just for fun. she can play Kingdom Hearts to see all the cringiness, in Kingdom Hearts. But why not? Why the frick not? So again, uh, just thank you. Just thank you, Destiny, for everything. I know most people might probably gonna ask me why you're not gonna thank Bungie. I'm not gonna thank Bungie for that because I will thank some people that were there, but I'm not gonna thank everybody because there are be the management there sucked. I hate them. The management over there just didn't do anything. Sony is not doing anything, and now they are quote unquote saying, oh, it'll cost us. Well, it'll cost Sony or whoever, $500 million to do Destiny 3. And I sat there and I just straight looked down. I'm all like, y'all got the money. Y'all got the money. Why can't you do it? Don't sit there and tell me you can't do it. Where you got the funds to do it. You got the funds to make God of War. You got the funds to do this. You got the funds to do that. And you tell me you can't have the funds to make Destiny 3. Help me add that up. I understand the business, and I completely understand that. But help me add that up where you funded everything else, but you can't fund this part. That doesn't add up to me at all. And I'm not gonna fully blame Sony for it, but at the same time, I'm sitting here looking at Sony like, Sony, I supported you, and you telling me, or whoever said it, sat there and say, you're telling me you can't just sit there and just help Bungie give the green light to, and it's like, okay, what? And then what? A year later, oh yeah, here's Destiny 3 after a whole year later after it was shutting down. That doesn't add up. And I'm gonna call BS on that because it's like, yeah, you're doing it now, where you should have done that while it was while everybody was in a hype train. We had over, I think, 300,000 signatures for to help bring Destiny 3 to life, if that makes sense. I don't remember the term for it, but yeah, people started, not signing signatures like in real life, but the people made a page or something like that, and now they're just kind of like, oh hey, like we want to do Destiny 3, and then during the June 2nd, yeah, it was June 2nd State of Play or PlayStation Direct. All it was for a whole chat, was we want Destiny 3. We want Destiny 3 for like an hour. We want Destiny 3. And they even showed God of War. They even showed, Wolverine more exclusive. And you're telling me like they did this, and that was the whole chat. All it said was we want Destiny 3. That's all people said. So, and that was very impressive. That was very, very impressive. So let's talk about Summer Game Fest, or let's talk about E3 2.0 real quick before I head out. Let's start with Sony Direct because they were up first. They scheduled theirs like 2 weeks notice before the big thing. I don't get it. But okay, whatever. Sony Direct. I'll give it an 8, but I will give it a 9 because they showed God of War, but that'll be too obvious, so I'll give it an 8. But it did pretty well. They showed nothing but games. They didn't even bother to talk. They showed nothing but games. They showed Wolverine. They showed God of War. They showed a lot of exclusives ready to be coming out later this year to be coming next year. So they did pretty well with it. Me, sat there and watched it. and we watched it all the way through. So it was pretty well done. It was pretty well done. I enjoy it. Every enjoy it. We private streamed it, and then we just kind of like we were just like waiting to see what's gonna happen. I haven't written stuff down yet because I was still processing all these games. So but yeah, I was just sitting here like, okay, it's time for me to get all ready. Hey, baby. And next thing you know, Summer Game Fest. Starting off the bat, Code Veronica. Capcom is cooking. Capcom was just cooking. Capcom just announced Code freaking Veronica, to next year. And I'm sitting here like, wow, all stinking ready. We're having a Code Veronica game coming out next year. I was like, wow, what the freak, And there's many more games. We're gonna have to rewatch it, but there's so many other games that are coming out. It was just bananas. It was just bananas, bro. I just can't believe that. Like, it was just so many to a point that they just sat there and just start, doing all that stuff. Right. And then Capcom had their next DLC. Street Fighter had their next DLCs, characters up and running. Next thing you know, Tifa from Final Fantasy VII is coming to Street Fighter. What? Word? I can't believe that. I just couldn't believe that. Like, that was kind of like insane. But yeah, I remember that. I remember that everyone wanted her to be on Tekken because they did that before with Noctis, and they did that with Clive now. So I was just like, okay, well, they can do that, and then they just didn't do it, I guess, or something went down, and I guess it didn't go through, which is fair. It happens all the time. It happens to every company. It doesn't go through, so it is what it is. So I guess that didn't happen. Which is fair, it's fair game. And then moments after that, Tuesday, we made it. We stinking made it, y'all. On the last trailer of the Summer Game Fest, the last stinking trailer, Final Fantasy 13 Revelations is coming out next year, bro. Coming out next year. I can't believe it. I can't wait. I cannot. I'm just flabbergasted that we made it, y'all. I just finished the walkthrough of the second one not that long ago.
I see the problem.
No, not that long ago. We just finished it on my channel, and it is totally worth it. I cannot wait. The trailer's up, and I can't wait to face the weapons. I cannot wait to see the ending. I just can't wait. I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen towards the end, because now a lot of you may not know what's going on, but we're not facing the regular Sephiroth from the original Final Fantasy game. We are facing off against average children Sephiroth. Now, a lot of people might not know, but if y'all got Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, I recommend you guys watch it. So when you guys watch it, During the final battle against Cloud and Sephiroth, he did came back. He sat. Sephiroth just sat there and says, "I will never become a memory." So, and the movie came out back in '05 and '06, around there, right? It's a very old game. I mean, a very old movie. And then they redid it in Blu-ray, and then, they updated the stuff. So yeah. Um, During that time, when he said that was cool, but of course it didn't click right away. It didn't click right away because, you know, it didn't. It didn't until like 9 or 10 years later, when PS4 was already out. You know, when the PS4 was already out, and it was already at the 2 years mark back in 2015. Man, it's been that long. Back in 2015, y'all. At E3, when E3 was still around. So when E3 was around, they showed the Final Fantasy VII remake, the first one, the first remake, and we were like, we did it, we made it, we stinking made it. When the first remake came out, everybody was like, the trailer for it was just amazing. Now everyone had a reason to buy a PS4 at that time, was because of Final Fantasy VII, and because of Kingdom Hearts 3 at that time, and later on God of War was also coming out as well. So literally Sony was killing it. They were killing it hard back then. They were just like all up in the business, and it was just phenomenal. And then fast forward, to like 2020, it did came out. The first remake did came out, of course, with the COVID-19 and all that stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, it was just. But I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered that one, and I also pre-ordered the second one, the Rebirth and all that stuff. And then now we got a third one, which is now called Revelations. Revelations is gonna be, the third and final installment. They are not gonna. They even announced it. They are not gonna do a fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. They're not gonna do that. They already confirmed that a decade ago. They said they're just gonna stick to 3, and that is it. They're not gonna do any more else. They're just gonna stick to 3, and that is it. So I'm like, cool, fair. In the original game, it had 3 discs. So okay, sticking to 3. Yes, they just have to be big. And yeah, when I say they're big, it was big. Both the first one and the second one, they were both huge. They didn't just cut corners and scale wide. They added a lot of stuff. Of course, they did remove certain things, but they sat there, and just went nuts. So the first one, it was all about Midgard. When they announced it, they just said, "Oh, we're gonna focus on Midgard, and we're gonna add a bunch of stuff that you couldn't see in the original game." Cool, fair, that's fine. That's totally awesome. And in the second one, it was more open world, leading up to Aerith's death. But yeah, it was all open world leading up to her death. So I was like, cool, that's fair. And they just added moves. They added and moved stuff around to make sense. A lot of people didn't get that. I didn't get it at first, but after playing it, I think like twice or something like that, it made a lot of sense. I'm like, okay, it makes sense now because back then, Vincent Valentine and Yuffie was optional characters. They were added at the last minute before launch. I think it was before due date, and then leading up to launch. So finally they can add them in there to make it where, okay, these are the characters in there. Even though they were optional, but these are characters in there. So when they add them in there, it's not just like, okay, here are a couple of dialogues here and there, but in the original game they did have dialogues. They did have a bunch of dialogue, but it wasn't enough to make sense. So that's why it's kind of like, okay, well they did all that type of scenario. But in the end, we did it. We made it, and they said it's coming out this next year, not this year. It's coming out next year. I'm like that. That's therapy. We got so many games coming out this year anyway. We got Grand Theft Auto, we got Wolverine, we got Musha. You know, we just had Resident Evil 9. You know, on top of that, and we already have banger games coming out this year anyway. So there's no reason to force them to come out here and try to, whatever. They just kind of like, okay, we'll just, do this and call it. Even Nintendo is bringing out with banger games too. Nintendo, Xbox, even they're coming out with banger games too, which I'll get to in a minute. But they're just out here just freaking killing it. All platforms. I just want, no matter how many the ups and downs, but yeah, I do see the problem. In gaming, I do see the problem, and I think that's what kind of just drifted me away. Because gaming are being too expensive. Um, they keep raising the price, which I don't agree. I don't agree, but I do see the problem why. But at the same time, I just don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it. Agree with that. No problem. So, pretty much the Summer Game Fest. Whew, that was awesome. I don't know what to rate on that one, but that one was just, yeah, it was just banging left and right. Everybody was just like, everybody was on edge. It was just, cool. I think the only complaint, I think a lot of people even saw why they didn't show Grand Theft Auto. It's coming out soon. Why, we still got, 4 months, 4 or 5 more months to go. Yeah, 5 more months to go before launch. And I think everybody was expecting that to could be there at the last thing, but I guess not because the last trailer was Final Fantasy. And I think a lot of people were disappointed because they want to see GTA. They want to see Grand Theft Auto 6. So I do feel bad for them. At the same time, it's just like okay, don't worry, Rockstar they'll bring it. It's just just as of right now, it's not the time yet. I guess in their eyes, that wasn't the time yet. So I'm like, okay, well, you do what you gotta do, and then when it comes out, so we'll see what happens. So there it was a lot of cover, but it was just it was just phenomenal that all these games are coming out at the end of this year, leading up to next year. I'm about to be broke because all these games are freaking bananas. You know, they are bananas. And ooh. And then the next one was Microsoft, Xbox. Give me a second. Yeah. So it. So the next one was Microsoft. Microsoft was next, but they didn't do it till like 2 days later. So I'm okay with it. 2 days later, I'm good with it. So, uh, me and Abby, I was waiting on Abby to come home so we can, watch it together. In scenario, I was like, I'm just waiting. So I'm just like, okay, let me just wait and get it started. I waited because E-Day was, coming out. So, but we just didn't know what. So I was just like, okay, let's just hurry up and get this so we can watch this. So Abby come home, got herself ready, and we watched it. We watched it. So So we watched the Xbox, and of course well, I just want to know why, whatever. So the first game that they showed was Gears of War E-Day, Emergence Day. Um, yeah, the game looks good. It looks good. You can tell they kind of redesigned it a little bit to update the graphics and whatever. So they redesigned everything, but they still kept it like fairly, original, but they really sat there and just redesigned all that, and forevermore. Um, yeah, the gameplay was different. The gameplay was up to date, not just like, okay, here's the original, duck, stop, drop, and roll, whatever. But they did update it. And I was like, this is amazing. So they did pretty good on that one. They did pretty good on that one. Fable, they showed more of Fable. Fable won't come out till next year. So I think it got delayed. But he didn't want to go up against GTA. So they kind of like, okay, we'll just push it back to February. Once everything kind of simmered down and all that, which is fair. So I can't complain for them for all that. Gears of War, October 6th, 5th or 6th, or 9th, somewhere around there. But yeah, October of this year. So another big banger coming on the list. So I told Oscar that hey, I'm gonna get it for both of us so we can play it. There's gonna be a couple new modes here and there, but we're definitely gonna get it. So yeah, they did have the old answer. They did, and they also had the chainsaw, prototype also. So it's like, okay, cool, that's fair. So, which is kind of like, that's awesome. That is awesome. So, and then Fable won't come out until next year. And then Halo 3, the Halo Evolve, Combat Evolve, or Halo Remake. July 28th of this year. July 28th. So I told Oscar I'm gonna pre-order that game for both of us so we can play that. So we can kind of like see the bidder and all that. So I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait for that game to come out, and that one's coming on PS5. Oh, and by the way, just to let you guys know, during the Xbox thing, Phil Spencer is gone. I don't know if you guys know, but Phil Spencer is no longer leading Xbox. He got fired about 6 months ago. He got fired along with somebody else, the head of Xbox as well. She also left with Phil Spencer as well. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what really happened, but I can tell already. And it was in the beginning of the year. We were like, okay, cool. Microsoft can start fresh. They can kind of, start over. Get everything right this time, and they can make it work. And yeah. So I'm kind of like, okay, well,
not gonna be a problem.
What we got, and then next thing you know, out of nowhere, all of us saw in real time that Phil got fired. Okay, let's be real. There's something behind that. There's no way they can just sit there and say Phil Spencer got fired or laid off. Out of nowhere in the beginning of the year of this year, there's no freaking way of that. We're like, really? Something must have happened behind the scene. Something must have happened. Because Microsoft went quiet. Like, almost a year, Microsoft went quiet. They did talk about, this and that, whatever, other games, and, they tried making it, I don't know what Phil Spencer's vision was, but I think what I can gather and what people are saying, I don't know if it's true, so forgive me if I failed. I don't know if it's true, but I think Phil doesn't want to have console exclusive. And I'm not saying that all of them. It's just probably some of them. If that makes any sense. Because during that time, when Gears of War, the first game that was coming to Xbox, they did a whole re-release, remake again. Yeah, it came on PlayStation as well. And we're like, okay, cool. That's that. All right, cool. And then of course, Forza Horizon is also coming on PlayStation. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I think it was last year or the year before, or something like that. Next thing you know, Halo was coming to PlayStation.
Really?
I was like,
Okay.
oh, it's over. But don't get me wrong. I never believe in console wars. I think the console war ended in 2013. That's when it ended in
I
2013
can fix
when
this.
Xbox One and PS4 was coming out. That's when the console war kind of finally ended because Microsoft shot himself in the foot. If y'all don't remember, y'all can look it up and find out. Or I'll give you guys a quick notice. Yeah, Microsoft was trying to control used games, trying to make it forever online only, no offline mode, and they're trying to make it where, like, so if you try to go to out of town or go to a friend's house, you have to be online or else be unplayable. Yeah, they were doing all that crazy stuff. Y'all can look it up. It's everybody's been talking about it. So, and it's been over 10 years and Microsoft still haven't recovered from that. So at the end of the day, it's like, and then next thing you know, Phil stepped up that year and gets kind of like, okay, let's just fix our problem and then make it work. And it did. It did work for so long until 2020, when the Xbox Series X and PS5 were coming out. So we all thought, okay, this is gonna be a fresh start. 5 years in. Yeah, 5 years in, 4 or 5 years in. It just got worse. Both consoles, not just Xbox, both consoles. They both raised their prices. They both did this. They both did that. They both tried. Everything got so expensive to a point where what's the point of buying this if we can't? Sony made it where I get it. Why everything starts becoming more expensive. They're trying to make it more AI. They're trying to make it more, I'm like, no, none of us just want this. None of us doesn't want that. We just want a comfortable, affordable console that we can sit there and play. That we can afford, not breaking our banks trying to not breaking our backs trying to save up a grand. Now they're Microsoft charging $607 for a regular Xbox, and Sony costing us $600 to $700 for a PS5. But hey, if you want the PS5 Pro, you're pretty much paying $1,000. And I'm like, you got me messed up. I ain't paying $1,000 for that. I mean, yeah, I get special bonuses, special, better graphics here and there, but that's cool. But there ain't no way in freak I'm gonna spend a grand on that. I can't do that. I can't do that. Now, I mean, during that time, it was like $700 something. When it first launched, it was like 700. I think it was $700 something. I could be wrong. My math is wrong, but yeah, I was like, I can't do that. But I was like, okay, I can probably do it, but I just probably not at that time, not right now. I couldn't do it, so I was like, okay, maybe in the future I can do it. And the next thing you know, they raised the price. I was like, well, that's out of the window. And then next thing you know, they raised the price again to the Pro, and this is the Pro, y'all. This isn't a regular one. This is the Pro, the higher one. And they raised it to like $900. So with all that tax, and what make it more worse? It doesn't come with a disk drive. The 5 Pro, it did not come with a disk drive. So you know what that means, y'all? That you have to. So if you got games that had disk on it, you have to buy the disk drive. And that's like another $80. That's like $80 right there. And then it's like, oh, it doesn't come with a stand. Well, guess what? If you don't have a stand, or if you do have a stand that doesn't compatible with it, well, guess what? You're screwed. Then that means you have to buy another so depending which one, you're looking at like another $20 worth of stand, $30 depending how you want to see it. But at the same time, I'm like, this is stupid, and you know it. It was dumb. It was dumb. It was completely It was completely dumb. And I personally don't like it, but you're adding stuff. And not only that, oh hey, don't forget, you need a warranty. And that's like another $87 for like 2 years. 2 years for $87 for a warranty. 60, 70, 60, it doesn't matter. But you guys get my drift. But yeah, you're spending $1,000 on that thing by yourself, where you could use that money to buy a laptop PC, like a laptop, gaming laptop, for that price. I mean, like, yeah, I was disappointed. P. I was just like, and I told my mother-in-law, and she just sat there and shook her head like, that's ridiculous. Like, yeah, I know, tell me about it. I'm all like, I gotta be, you know, on something to oh hey, I'm gonna buy this console. And I know for a fact she'll look at me like, you're dumb. Why would you spend that much? She's like, hey, I know my limits when it comes to consoles. When I see something that's too high, I'll be like, no, I know my limits. I know my limits. My limits are unlimited. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, nah. I know what needs to be done. I know what he is. But I am not gonna sit there and think and do that. I know. I mean, yeah, sadly, I'm using a PlayStation, but at the same time, you know, I I support all my consoles, and now it's kind of difficult to kind of do all that. But anyway, back to Xbox. Xbox did pretty well. They show a bunch of games, and now they got a uh new head of Xbox person. I forgot her name, but she sounds pretty cool. She used to work with like just Microsoft in general with AI stuff, but now she's over here, and she was there. She was there, and when she announced that Gears of War E-Day is gonna be exclusive to Xbox, I was like, everyone cheered. And I just have to like, okay, that's fair. And she's sitting here rebooting and rebranding everything. She's trying to start. Oh, what she's trying to do? She's trying to start over. She's trying to start over and say, hey, we're gonna start over. So, and she been doing, and she hadn't been out. She hadn't started. She been doing it for months. She just got hired not that long ago, and then for the past couple months, look, she's already rebranding. She's already starting over. She already doing something that that she saw that the issue where like the consoles are too expensive. Game Pass was too expensive, so she trying to lower everything down to make it where it's affordable. Yeah, not everyone can afford all that, and she knows it. Everybody knows that they can't, like, they want to continue with their hobby, and she wants to support everybody that can continue with the hobby. And I applaud that. I applaud that. Yeah, not everyone got the guts to sit there and say, "Oh, hey, let's start over." Not everyone can do that. Sony and Nintendo. So not everyone can do that. To sit there and apologize. If they think that, oh yeah, everything's gonna be fine, they'll buy it. It's like, okay, but she did lower the price of Game Pass, which is well done. That's what we all needed. Is just lower the price of Game Pass. And I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a rumor going around that she wants to end this. Oh, there's a catalog going on that thinking that, oh yeah, the next gaming consoles will be like $1,000. I'm like, first of all, you don't know that. Second of all, we don't know if they're going to be $1,000 until further notice. It's still too early. We're at the end of the life cycle of both Xbox and PlayStation 5. We're both at the end of their cycle. This year is their last year, leading up to the next year. We all know they're going to be at the holidays. We all know that. So, but yeah, they're not going to freaking. We don't know until they confirm that. So as of right now, we don't know that. So, but I guess people are saying that she gotta end that worldwide. We're not gonna make it worldwide. It's gonna be freaking $1,000. No, we're gonna make it where it's affordable that people can sit there and be like, hey, Whatever. So as of right now, she made it where she just announced, I think not that long ago, that they're making a whole new console called Project Helix. So that's a new console. We don't know the name of it until next year. We don't know because it's still too early. A lot of people got mad because they want to see what the new one look like. Like, we still got a whole year, y'all. Let's just get through the year. You know, let's just get through the year with all these games that are coming out, and then by next year, we're probably by next year they're probably gonna show some. Now she can show it at the summer not summer the Game Awards. She can show at the Game Awards if she really wants to. And then just like what Bill Fisher did back in 2019 when the Series X was announced, you know, that he sat there and showed it at the Game Awards. So she could easily show at the Game Awards if she really wanted to. But as of right now, she's just gonna wait it out until all the games are coming out. GTA, Gears of War, blah blah. So she's waiting until everything's all come out, ready to go. Do I hate it? No. That's a smart move. You don't just tell them, okay, here's Project Helix where Gears of War haven't even come out. Here's Project Helix when Fable ain't even out yet. And you want to talk about this thing already where your three major games haven't even come out yet. So you gotta sit there and understand why, look, let your games play out and whatever happens, happens. Simple as that. So that I probably would have done the same thing too. I probably would have done the same thing too with that stuff. So Xbox, y'all did great. Y'all show up, and there's more other games I can't really think of right now. But yeah, there's so many games that are coming on Xbox that's exclusive, and I'm all that's good because give us a reason for us to get on Xbox because that's what Nintendo. I'll get to Nintendo in a minute. Because that's what Nintendo were thinking of the same thing too. I'm not trying to pick sides here. Nintendo doesn't want to share because it gets people to be like, oh, so what's the like? So let's say Mario is on PlayStation and Xbox and PC. Well, they can emulate whatever, give or take, legally, whatever, doesn't matter. What if Mario is on PlayStation and Xbox? The whole world would erupt. It could be a good way, or it can lead to a bad way. So no matter what, it can lead both sides. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be on one side." No. They're always gonna be the good and the bad. It's always gonna be good and the bad, no matter what, because it's their game. They built it from the ground up. And let's get this straight right now. Nintendo is over 100 years old. Let's get that fact straight. It is over 100 years old. Sony and Microsoft didn't exist until literally 100 years later. Or 90 years later, whatever. They didn't exist till way later. So let's take in here, okay? Okay, y'all. Why don't sit there and tell me, oh yeah, Microsoft was there. Okay, no, they weren't there. They were not there when all this went down. Microsoft didn't start making money until 1980s, and they didn't become big until 1990s. And during the 1990s, they were making $1 billion every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. They were making $1 billion because of what they did, but because of what Bill Gates did, and because of what Steve Ballmer did, they were making $1 billion. Regardless. And then Sony was also there as well. They were making a lot of money by making TVs, CD players, this and that, speakers, you name it. You name it, everything's all there. So Sony made billions of dollars because of that product. Sony didn't go into gaming until 1994. Like during the 1994, because of one incident. Because Nintendo stopped there, and Sony came up with like a deal with Sony. I mean, with Nintendo, they sat to say, "Hey, we got this thing, we got the CD player. We would like to work with you to, it can play CD, this, whatever. We would like to team up with you, blah blah." And Nintendo thought about it, said, "Okay, cool," but they brushed it off because they didn't want. It wasn't why they want to do it, but it was just kind of like, okay, cool. Nintendo literally said, "Cool, fine, whatever." Okay, they shook on, but here's a mistake for both parties. They didn't sign. But if you're gonna team up, you have to sign. That's the number one rule of any business whatsoever. If you're gonna make a deal, you all have to sign. Simple as that. Y'all have to sign like a 3-year deal or 5-year deal, whatever it is, whatever. Y'all have to sign. They didn't sign. So during E3, Sony was up, showed them a prototype of like the CD player ish that can help Nintendo with doing like CD stuff and whatever, and you can play like their music in the background, whatever. Cool. And then went there the same day of E3. Nintendo went up, and they decided to partner up with like another company that they later on sat there and just gave up on like right there and there, just so they can. So I don't know what really happened, but they signed up with they ended up partnering up with Philips, which that also did pretty bad too with Philips as well. So they just kind of, they sat there and did all that, and they made the crappy the Legend of Zelda game that looked childish. Yeah, they did all that. So I'm kind of like, wow, that's kind of that was kind of bad. That was kind of bad, and Sony was furious. But yeah, I think they were already gonna do it. But they got the funds to do it. They were already about to do it. And it literally, they literally called it the PlayStation for their product. Well, with Nintendo. And it stuck with them. And then the name sat there and stuck with them. And then after that, look what happened. Many years later, hey, here comes the new console. Here comes the new challenger, the PlayStation. Later on, start playing games. It can play games now. It can play games. It can do this, and that one mistake changed the history. And now they got a new challenger besides Sega. And now a lot of people are asking, was that the right move for Nintendo? It's kind of hard, especially during the 1990s. It was during the 1990s, so it was kind of difficult. It was very, very difficult because you can't. How can you predict that? Because the former boss from Nintendo, while he was still, in leadership, he sat there and told, like, well, if we say yes to them, they're gonna, once they're done, they're gonna know our coding, they're gonna know how we function, they're gonna know how to do this, blah blah. They don't want that because they just started their gaming consoles not that long ago, so they just started their 10 years prior, or 8 to 9 years prior, depending, wherever. And he doesn't want that to be punished. He doesn't want someone using their, idea and then create their own consoles by using their ideas. And they don't want that. So, was that a risky move? Yeah, of course. Of course it was a risky thing. So, but you can't blame Nintendo for that, because during that time, what would you do in that situation during that time right then and there? What would you do? I wouldn't even know. But yeah, I can say, I can do this, but could you? During that time where technology were still brand new, technology is barely getting better by the year. But during that time, it was, when you watch the old movie now, it looks like Yeah, some of them look great during those times. It looks so dang cool, and and some of them look like, hey, this was the graphics back then. Like, yeah, those were the graphics back then, and a lot of editing. Because during that time, CGI wasn't all that great back then. And wasn't always there at 90% of the time. And then now majority is all CGI. CGI got a lot more better. Back then, it was hard editing, and then like they took all the unnecessary part out to put all the new necessary stuff in to make it more better. And it did, and it works. It works. So, and then next thing you know, after not right after, but after the success of PlayStation One, hey, Microsoft saw what if you all saw the Microsoft documentary, they saw that, and yeah, they that Sony was going up high along with Nintendo, and that hurt Bill Gates during that time. I mean, he was still running Microsoft, but yeah, that did hurt Bill Gates a little bit, saying, yeah, gaming started becoming bigger, and internet was starting becoming more involved. So I'm kind of like, okay. So they just went ahead and did their thing, and then next thing you know, during the 2000s, 2001, Microsoft created the Xbox because Bill took a bet. He took a bet and it worked. If Bill said no, would Xbox exist today? If Bill says no. Same thing with PlayStation. If Nintendo didn't agree to do that, would we still have the PlayStation? Would we still have all this other stuff? Like what would that mean? If something was altered different, would we have PlayStation and Xbox today? If those companies didn't do what they did, you know what I mean? So would they be here today? The world may never know. The world may never know, yo. So it's just crazy, how we all evolve into all this community. Team Xbox, Team Nintendo, Team PC, Team Sony, PlayStation. To me, it doesn't matter who we team out. If I have PC, I'll probably be on PC. But I still love my consoles because I love my consoles. PC was there, but it didn't gravitate until many years later. But PC was there. It was there from the start. So, but in the end, it is what it is. And then last but not least, the Nintendo Direct. Man, Nintendo Direct. What can I say? A lot of bangers coming out. Nintendo got a lot of partnership coming in, and Rally announced that Kingdom Hearts is coming on Nintendo Switch 2. Believe it or not, Kingdom Hearts is coming on the Switch 2. All of them, all 1, 2, 3, and 4 are coming on the Switch. No freaking way. I was like, what? I was tired because I was already sleepy, but in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. So I can play this on the go. I can take it to my friend's house, and they can play it right then and there. So that's easy because when you think about it, a lot of people stick to one console. There's not that many people that stick to 3. Barely 2. Or people can stick to PC just so they can do all the mods and do all that other stuff. That's fine. That's cool. I'm cool with it.
We need a centralized city government.
So, yeah, a lot of people will stick to one, and that's fair game. I agree y'all can pick wherever you want. If y'all like PC more, go pay PC. I don't judge you. If y'all want to play just Nintendo because it's cheaper, hey, by all means, go right ahead. You know, by all means, go right ahead. If it's cheaper, do what you gotta do. Or if you guys want to play nothing but PlayStation, then by all means, go right ahead.
Back's killing me.
Okay.
There.
Hang on, y'all. Play with my cat real quick.
Not gonna be a problem.
You're a big boy.
I don't have training for that.
Wait, yeah. No. Wait, yeah. I was just kind of like, you know, if y'all want to play just Xbox alone, just, you know, go right ahead. Pay that money. You know, do what you gotta do. You know, but if y'all want to play Sony by itself, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, again, y'all can do whatever you want with these consoles. You know, no one's not pointing a gun to your head and say, hey, buy this console. Y'all can do what you need to do. But yeah, so Final Fantasy is coming on the Switch. The third final part is coming on the Switch. Space Marines is coming on the Switch too. I'm all like, what? Space Marines? No freaking way. Like the Space Marine 2, the second game. I was like, no freaking way. Oh, I'm gonna play that on the go? Oh my gosh, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait for that. Street Fighter's on the Switch too. But we already know that. And then all the Kingdom Hearts games are coming out. There were so many. There were so many. And then next thing you know, the last Star Fox is coming pretty soon, just around the corner, yo. Star Fox is coming out, so stay tuned for that. But after that, hang on, y'all. Yeah, but after that, the last and final game, which shocked everybody, including me, but I was too tired to kind of fully react, was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is getting a full remake from the ground up. Think about it, y'all. Yeah, think about it, y'all. That is getting a full-on ground up. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. You know, I was like, and on top of that, it's coming out this year. You know? Yeah, so Ocarina of Time is coming out this year. I was like, no way. I thought it was going to be like next year. We already got a bunch of bangers coming in. So I'm like,
I screwed up my wrist.
So I'm like, there's no way. I can't believe that. And next thing you know, yeah, it's fully happening. Full on happening. I'm super excited to see that all these games are coming out this year, leading up to next year. I just can't believe that. So, these games are banging after
Gonna need
banging,
someone
y'all.
to shut off
I
the
just
power.
can't believe that this is happening right now. Like I'm so flabbergasting that all. I know I'm missing a lot, but just bear with me because it's just unbelievable. Because I'm over here like, oh my god, I just can't believe all these games are coming out. I just can't believe that. You know that these games are just legit freaking awesome. I'm just super happy. You know, I'm just happy that I just got a chance to live to see this. You know, I just can't believe that I got a chance to live through all this stuff. And I'm very, very happy that, that I got into gaming. I got to the channel because of this. So I just want to thank you guys so much for all that. I'll end the live stream soon with this. With a positive note, thank you. No matter what gaming console you guys got, no matter if you guys on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, doesn't matter. Y'all play what y'all want to play. I'm not gonna sit here and judge you saying, hey, you gotta play this game, or hey, you gotta do this. No, you play what you guys want to play. Y'all have fun. Y'all enjoy every single moment of playing whatever game that you feel comfortable playing. If y'all want to play it, cool, fine. Yeah, if y'all just want to play Nintendo, heck yeah, we'll play some Nintendo games. I'm down for that. Or if y'all want to play some extra, yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, I'm down for that. Or y'all got places, yeah, I'm down for that. I'm always down for some. I just want you guys to understand why I'm what you choose doesn't matter to me. It's your choice. You know what games you guys want. I'm just a guy that I know what games I want to play. Whether I like it, whether you guys like it, whether you guys don't like it, it doesn't matter. I know what games I'm gonna play. I know what games I'm gonna get. No one's gonna stop me of buying games that I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna stop you guys of buying what you guys buying for you guys. You guys know what's up. Y'all know what games y'all want to play. I don't because I just know what you guys. I don't know what you guys like, but you guys know what I like. I always love open world games. I always love co-op games that involve like other people playing. Or 90% of the time, I'm playing a single player game by myself. You know, like like I'm playing Plastic Mana right now, and then Final Fantasy 16 as well. I'm replaying that, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm legit sitting here replaying half of these games because it is enjoyable. So, so I can't just, you know, and every now and then, I just sit there and play. You know, I just sit there and play. So that's my quick summary of like the Summer Game Fest and all that. Also, I know there's a lot, but there's so many games that are coming out, and it's hard to It's hard to write everything down because there's so many that are coming out. So let's just recap. Real quick. I am getting Animusha. I am getting Wolverine. Now I'm getting Halo and Gears of War as well. I am getting Grand Theft Auto. I am getting Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda. Sadly, I won't be able to live stream, but I will get that one. There's more I'm missing. Yeah, there's more I'm missing, but yeah, I'm getting all the main big titles, that are coming out. So I got Plasma. I'm actually almost done with the game. I'm just replaying. I'm about to like replay on hard mode so I can like get on the unlimited ammo stuff and everything. Just so I can mentally be ready to play all these other games and so forth and so forth. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, so I'm super excited. So I think that once I'm done with oh yeah, and Dynasty Warriors. I can't believe I forgot about that. And Dynasty Warriors as well. Dynasty Warriors 3. Getting that one. I know I'm missing a lot, but I am gonna get I guess I'm getting a new God of War Lefe. I mean I am getting that one. So you aware of that. Yeah. Gonna see what we're gonna do. But again, I want to thank Bungie, not all of them, but a few of them. I want to thank Bungie and Destiny too. I met a lot of new people here. I met a lot of friends here. And it just sucks that I had to end this way. Checking. It just sucks. But nothing we can do. Can't really do much. But it is what it is.
Fenchurch does the exploring.
So it's just bummer that we could have done more with this game. I mean, we could have done more with this, but yeah, the new tower's out. And got Sparrow Racing. Yeah. Well, this is a fully final episode of Destiny 2. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to play this game with you guys. Even though I'm fully retired this game. I am now officially retired of playing this game. I'll probably still play just to play Sparrow Racing. And, but I am finally done with this game. So, let me see. That anyway, a good note. Where is my stuff? There we go. Now I gotta find that one.
Security scans in progress.
There we go. Thank you guys so much. Um, so tomorrow I'm just gonna burst out and play more of the Dinosaurs Origins, get that out of the way, and then once I do that, I'll have other games already on standby ready to go. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for Halo because when that game comes out, me also gonna Deep Stone play the heck out of it. So, but I have to work with his schedule because his scheduling is different now. But he does have a set schedule. So usually he'll be from Sunday to Tuesday, and sometimes Saturday to Tuesday, depending. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work with that schedule. So if I'm doing something else, I didn't stop. I'll continue to play it, but me and him gonna play it together, so we can kind of like, yeah, we're just gonna play it together. So I'm fine. I'm back to normal. Just thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, you guys. So please leave a like. Please leave a like, leave a comment. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. That will help my channel out. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Dynasty Warriors Origins. This is the final episode of Destiny 2. Take care, be blessed, and have a good rest of you guys' night. Thank you for allowing me to explain what happened for like a whole hour. That took longer than I expected. Because I could have gone longer, but it would have been a 2 hour or 3 hour draft and all that, but I wasn't going to do all that. So, but yeah, you guys, gaming is officially starting anew. So be ready, y'all. Gaming is going to be lit. I don't know if I'm gonna do Wolverine because do all the graphics and all, the blood and all that stuff, but I'll try to figure that out. Okay, y'all. So I will do Wolverine, and then Onimusha, I'll figure out Onimusha. But after that, oh my god, it's gonna be unsolvable. So take care. Like always, yeet. Take care. Be blessed, and have a good rest of your.